Hi, it's David Duran, and it's time for another Rad Dad Thursday video. Today is May 15th, 2025, and continuing on the focus in May on supporting our moms, the moms of our kids, and considering that this month, the month of May, is Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm going to watch another video on how dads can support their partners and their moms when they're going through, in this particular situation, the rough patch of perhaps them going through some perinatal and postpartum mood and anxiety disorder. This is something that is not uncommon for parents, both moms and dads, to go through, and it's a rather new medical term for this. In June, we'll talk about this with dads, to go along with June being the month of that Father's Day falls into. So today's video lasts about 8.5 minutes, and it talks about fathers and how they responded and helped their partners to deal with a rough patch that they were going through after the birth of their baby. And it provides some good information it first tells about the history, the background of the situation, and then what the fathers did to help their partners through it. And again, being a 24/7 dad, the program that we offer here at ABC, we talk about how we can support our partners and our moms in through thick and thin, through good and bad. And if you have a concern are looking for some help, you can call ABC. We have people and resources that we can connect you to help with the situation if your partner happens to be going through it, because when your partner goes through it, you're going through it together because you're supporting each other. So we can provide you information to contact professionals who can help you guys work through whatever bump in the road you may have come up with and are facing after the birth of your child. So, without any further ado, let's watch the video. And again, I'd like to ask you, if you watch this and you like it, please hit like and subscribe to the channel. Share it with people who you think might benefit from this information.
Before the pregnancy, my wife had always been the kind of person that loved children. After we had the first child, things kind of changed a little bit. Out of nowhere, she'd just become anxious and kind of scared, and for no apparent reason. And after a couple of those episodes, then we knew something was wrong. So it was surprising, and I felt kind of helpless because I didn't know what was going on.
In the depths of the depression, she'd just given up. She'd given up all hope. She'd given up thinking that anything good could ever happen again, and she just was a mess. And that was shocking to me, was seeing her go from being the strong, confident, loving person to someone that just wanted to give up.
Kim was always a really, really outgoing, bubbly, funny, humorous person who was very, very capable. After the first pregnancy, though, all of that changed. She didn't want to leave the house, actually, for the first month and a half. She was scared to leave the house. And every little thing that came up, whether it was a major issue or a minor little runny nose, seemed like it was catastrophic to her, and she wasn't capable of dealing with it without having either an emotional breakdown or just wasn't actually capable of dealing with it. After a while, I realized I was doing all of the work, and she hadn't changed any diapers in the first 2 weeks. And we weren't leaving the house. She didn't want friends and family around, and it all slowly started adding up to a point where I was like, there's just something wrong. and I didn't know what it was, didn't know what could have changed. I just kept thinking she might snap out of it, or that it would, she'd go back to being the old Kim, but she hadn't.
When you get married, you have a partnership. When you have the child, you have the partnership. When your wife is sick, you kind of lose that partnership. And I had this huge sense of responsibility about that. So there was this responsibility, but also just the fear and just the feeling that everything we'd worked for is falling apart.
Mostly I felt lonely. I didn't have my partner, the person that I'd spent, the past 2.5, 3 years doing everything with. I didn't have her anymore. If I wanted to go out to dinner, if I wanted to go to the store, I had to take the new baby and do it by myself. Eventually you feel like this has been taken away from you, and you feel like blaming her and like it's her fault. And it's completely unfair, but I became very resentful of all the work that I was doing and all of the stuff that she wasn't doing.
After the first few episodes, I started thinking, what could be causing this, and the only thing I could think of was me, because that's kind of the common factor. And so before I learned more about the disorder, we kind of had a hard time talking about it, because I'm thinking I'm a little defensive because I think it's me. She's being defensive because she doesn't know why. And so it kind of took its toll on our relationship a little bit.
I talked to a lot of people, a lot of guys who recently had kids, about what their life was like and what their wife was like and what the family was like and how things worked in their homes and what kind of stuff was messed up and going wrong. And it was just such a completely different scenario from what I was dealing with. All of their big traumatic situations they had to deal with were so mundane compared to what we were going through, that it was just really nobody I could talk to that understood.
The process from when she started treatment and going forward, it was kind of a slow process. It took a while to develop. You're a big part in helping them get through it, and you need to stay there with them mentally and physically, spiritually.
She was on medication for 6 months, but as soon as she started medication, after about 2 weeks, things started to look better. And as she progressed with the treatment, the bad times were shorter and the good times were longer, and things get better gradually. And also, don't give up on different treatments. If one thing isn't working or she doesn't react well to one medication, just keep trying others, because medicine is kind of a trial and error science.
The process of finding the right people to help if she doesn't want help, it's going to be difficult. PSI can help. The interviewing different people can help yourself. If you want to do that yourself, ask a therapist or ask a psychologist if she's ever dealt with PPD, and make sure that your wife knows that she understands exactly what she's going through, even though you don't. Say, I have no idea what you're going through, but I found this person who wants to talk to you and is willing to help you.
Be understanding that it's just a temporary thing, that things will get better. You just have to help them. Listen to what they have to say. If they feel like talking, give them a break. Take child duties, over and let them, go shopping or something. Let them go out, and because that helps them, deal with it. When they can keep occupied and get their minds off of it.
Husbands have a right to go learn as much about the postpartum depression as they can. They have a right to find out as much information, to contact organizations like PSI, to get doctor recommendations for doctors. Denise just wanted help, and she was very open to me helping her. That's how we were able to recover. Even though she didn't see it, she got to a point where she had no choice but to get help, and that's how we got through it.
Just stay informed on the condition, and the most important thing is just to be there for them, and in fact, it also helps if you also keep occupied as well. Like not to change your, not to let it affect your daily routine. Your hobbies and everything. Just keep those because that helps you stay there mentally, and it keeps you strong.
Take care of yourself. I think it can be a long haul, so there's no quick solutions. Even with treatment, it takes a while. So you need to be taking care of yourself so that so you don't get dragged down. And also, if you're in a crisis, it's just take one day at a time.
The postpartum depression is going to be over soon. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be 6 months from now, but it will be long before, before your kids grow up and long before there's any irreparable harm. And you just need to stick with it and stick with your wife and be supportive and understand that, they're your family and there's nothing else. There's just nothing else that you're ever going to run into that's worth fighting for. Like that. And it's worth it. It really is.